Hello, my name is METİN. This is 188th part of explanation of my theory. According to my theory and my formulas, universe can't expand faster than light. Expansion velocity can't exceed speed of light. Space can't expand faster than light. Faster than light expansion is wrong, and all z redshift values are wrong. There is no faster than light expansion of space. All z redshift values are wrong. First snapshot. Yes. 1. Accepted physics theories are not aware of their illusion about redshift. You cannot find receding, moving away velocity of a light source object. You cannot find receding velocity of a light source object by using spectral Doppler shift, spectral relativistic Doppler shift, and expansion spectral redshift formulas. None of them useful for this. Wrong. They are wrong. 2. Accepted physics theories are not aware of two types of light and their sources, and they are not aware of these sources' light production mechanisms. Successive waves type light and continuous spectrum. Here, successive waves type light and continuous spectrum's sources are free electron motion forms, and single wave pulse type light and characteristic lines and characteristic lines sources are proton bound, atom bound electron motion forms. 3. Accepted physics theories don't know that without continuous spectrum, without continuous spectrum, okay, without continuous spectrum background, characteristic emission or absorption lines cannot occur in order and in measurable scales. This is continuous spectrum from free electron motion forms, successive waves in motion free electron motion forms, okay? This curve represents at each point of its spherical ring-shaped surface of electron motion forms. At each point's wavelength and at each point wave velocity are different without frequency changing. Yes. Without this curve, any characteristic lines can occur. Characteristic lines can't occur in a measurable scale, like this, okay? Or here, continuous spectrum through ultraviolet from infrared, okay? Visible spectrum interval, okay? This is continuous spectrum, say, and here, say, characteristic emission or absorption lines. Emission or here, absorption line, here, emission line, okay? Yes. 3. Accepted physics theories don't know that without continuous spectrum background, characteristic emission or absorption lines cannot occur in order and in measurable scales. Continuous spectrums are unique carriers of characteristic lines. 4. In accepted physics theories, continuous spectrum picture and line spectra picture are superimposed unconsciously. Then they say, yes, this line pattern stays same, but their wavelengths shift to be greater or to be smaller, relate to receding from observer or approaching to. Whereas this is reality. This is reality. This continuous spectrum and here characteristic line, lambda key 0.0218 nanometer. Applied voltage to electron motion form 16,000 volt. Then here, this is the shape. And 0.0218 nanometer characteristic line in here like encore. Characteristic emission lines wavelength doesn't change. Okay? When we apply same electron motion form, same initial wavelength electron motion form, 100,000 volt accelerating. Here, greater velocity electron motion forms continuous spectrum curve. This is shifted, not characteristic wave shift greater or smaller wavelength. Okay? Same like encore. What changed? Here continuous spectrum changed, but unconsciously, and they don't know what is this. They didn't see that picture that I draw, but unconsciously they do that. Superimposed minimum wavelengths points of two different continuous spectrums then they do this difference, they make this, okay. Their account here, right side under the corner, look at that, what they do. And here, what did I do? Yes. In accepted physics theories, continuous spectrum picture and line spectral picture are superimposed unconsciously. Then they say, yes, these line patterns stay the same, but their wavelengths shift to be greater or to be smaller related to the receding moving away from observer or approaching to. They superimpose. This is reality. Unconsciously, they don't draw this, they don't know this, but unconsciously they do what they do. Okay? Here. Yes, here. What they do. Then, finally, eventually, they calculate what? Z redshift greater than 3, or expanding greater than speed of light. Yes, there are faster than light velocities in our universes, as I told you before, but not as this. Yes. Whereas, in fact, without changing their wavelength as an anchor, their place is shifting, relates to changing continuous spectrum background. I say this for characteristic lines. Without changing characteristic lines' wavelength as an anchor, characteristic lines' place is shifting, relates to changing continuous spectrum background. Greater velocity, slower velocity. Okay? Characteristic emission or absorption lines wavelengths don't change. Don't change. 5. In accepted physics theories, in fact, same emission line pattern overlapped, okay, with two different continuous spectrums, instantaneous pictures on different places. Unconsciously calculation of accepted physics theories without aware of what they do. Okay? In accepted physics theories, in fact, same emission line pattern overlapped with two different continuous spectrums, instantaneous pictures on different places. Two different continuous spectrums, instantaneous pictures on different places. So, they superimposed two different continuous spectrums, minimum wavelength points. Whereas, this is reality. They are not superimposed. Okay? Therefore, same characteristic line patterns seemed at different places. Okay? Then, what they do, difference between these two peaks is the same difference, these different minimum lambda normal minus delta lambda. Okay? Then they calculate like this, left side. And they found different wrong results, like exceeding speed of light, expanding space, no, z greater than 2, expanding redshift. Okay. Here, what did I do? For 16,000 volt electron motion forms velocity, I have accounted 150,000 kilometers per second, and under the effect of applied 100,000 volts accelerated electron motion forms velocity, I have computed 276,000 kilometers per second, like this. Here. Don't forget 6 each different continuous spectrums instantaneous of the same initial wavelength size. Light source represents a certain velocity of this source. Different velocities. Okay. This continuous spectrum represents 150,000 kilometers per second velocity. This greater one represents 276,000 kilometers per second velocity of the source, free electron motion form. Yes, I will explain these subjects in detail next. Have a good evening. See you later.